Welcome to Long Distance Roomies.
Hi, Malka.
Hi, Dee. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Can I just say that you look so beautiful and radiant?
I
Just like,
I love you. I appreciate you so much. I am inspired by you and wearing quite a lot of bronzer because you're this sunny summer goddess, and I'm here in Las Vegas and it is so unbelievably hot here. So it's kind of like winter in the Midwest where you don't want to leave the house. So I've lost most of my color. So I'm doing you were my muse for today's look. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that. And by the way, I think our hair looks really similar. I think we're doing something like we've got a similar look happening here. I also as you know, I just catch as much sun rays, like doing work, whatever I can outside on my balcony. And I'm a sun goddess baby. And thank you always for reminding me to wear sunscreen because I'm always wearing sunscreen.
Oh, that
But
makes me so happy.
yeah.
My Virgo heart is just growing knowing that.
Yeah, well, I always accept your influence. On that note, let's make sure that our audience is also accepting your influence and our influence. Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget to like, rate, subscribe, share, follow us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube at Long Distance Roomies Podcast. We're starting to get some really interesting feedback from our audience, and we want to just keep the conversation going and know that it doesn't just exist in the podcast living room, but it's an ongoing conversation.
We do feel sometimes like what we're creating something and it just goes out into the void. So we would love for you guys to follow along, and especially like we would love your ratings. Give us 5 stars because that really helps people to find us. And we want to help you. We are here to serve. So also we would love for you to reach out to us, either DMing us on Instagram or emailing us at longdistance.roomiespod@gmail.com. And let us know, especially for our male listeners, what do you want to know from women, about women, what women think about dating, sex, relationships, anything. We're here to help you. And we actually got a great question from
Yes, let's
one of our
dive right
viewers.
in. I'm so excited about this. I think that's part of why I'm so excited about this recording is we're starting to hear back from people. And so let's dive into Jack's question.
So Jack reached out, and Jack is in his 20s. He is 6'4" and balding and has a lot of trouble with the ladies. And this was in response to one of our posts about are tall men lazy in dating, because I am dating a short king and this is my first experience doing that. And so Jack, he wanted to know if the fact that he is bald is going to be a deal breaker, and if that is why he's having so much trouble with women. So Diana, what do you think about this?
Okay. Thank you. Not like there was anybody else in the room that you would call on, but I just want to say I may not be with my daughter's dad anymore, but we are very good friends and I have a lot of affection and love for him. We were friends in college and he had a full head of hair in college. And then he started to lose his hair when he was about 24, 25. And by the way, he's also not that tall. He's like
No.
probably about 5'7". So not like I'm particularly tall. But he, as soon as he started like really kind of losing his hair, he started to shave his head and he grew a beard and he created a whole new look for himself. And I was somebody who knew him both ways, and I still fell in love with him and married him from point A to B. But he used to have this joke like, don't be a ball denier. And that actually, and it comes from the podcast Men in Blazers. Because one of the guys, it's a soccer football podcast. It's like the number one football podcast. I think they do tours and stuff. But this guy, they had a joke about not being a ball denier and to just own it and be confident about it. And like maybe what Jack needs to do is like grow a beard and like create some dimension on his face, but not to deny the baldness. Just own it, be confident. You're tall in a room. Some of the most handsome men I know are bald. So I think you just kind of like own it. What do you
I
think?
completely I completely agree. So I think that, especially after looking at Jack, he looks like a handsome man, but in his photo, he was wearing a hat. So I couldn't tell the how far the balding has progressed. But I think regardless, shave your head. And then so much of being able to connect with women and to get someone to date you and to get someone to have sex with you is learning how to connect with someone and exuding confidence, asking the right questions, not being so afraid of rejection. And I think, especially Gen Z, which I think Jack is, were raised with basically a cell phone in their hand, and they, connect with people on social media. And so they're really afraid to connect in person. They don't have nearly the social skills that us elder
Yeah.
millennials have, where we were basically teenagers and grew up before social media.
What's it
So I
called? Like maxing, like what guys are into from social media? Like
Well, there's
max?
looks maxing,
That's what
there's
I'm talking about.
social maxing. Well, looks
Yeah.
maxing is about basically like making yourself more attractive,
Yeah.
not necessarily your personality. Which, the thing about women is, especially if you're tall, I think women, in terms of the rest of your looks, are going to be a lot more lenient. And 6'4", that is super tall. That is like
Hmm.
sexy. So I just think, if you can shave your head, but then really start to work on your confidence, on being curious, showing women that you're interested in them, and not being so terrified that they're going to reject you, you are going to do great, Jack. We are rooting for you. I think you are
Go
just getting
Jack.
you're in your own head, and I think that's a problem that a lot of us men and women have. So we are rooting for you, Jack, and please let us know an update if you've tried any of our suggestions, because we know that you're going to get the girls. We know you are. You just have to get out of your own way.
Totally. By the way, that's like ev- everybody's solution would be to get out of their own way to like most of their problems, I think, especially me and mine.
Same. Same seas.
Okay, so now let's get into a little housekeeping.
No, I'm a little.
Behind on the
There we
soundboard.
are.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was behind on the soundboard. We'll get it. Sorry.
it's all
Apologies.
good. So it seems as though what we learned in between this last episode and now is that we really struck a nerve about the tall, lazy guys comment. Like, we have like, I want to say close to 200 comments on this. And basically, Molly has a theory that tall guys don't have to work as hard because their women always prefer a tall man. And we really got some interesting feedback on this. And it really ran the gamut. Some
Yeah.
some men felt, well, first of all, I would say a lot of people thought that this was a shallow thing to be talking about, but I think that's because the insecurity of whether it was true or not. And I know for me personally, I'm just short, so it doesn't like it, I've never been a heightist as much, but what men and women were saying was really interesting. What was some of your biggest takeaways, Molly?
So there were a few camps. We had the tall guys who were like, "We are not lazy. What are you talking about?" And it really a lot of these guys were not very reflective. And also, I think it's a lack of empathy because when you're tall, you don't realize what it is like to not be tall and what some of the limitations someone who isn't tall has, especially when it comes to dating women.
And also, excuse me, just overall being in a crowd, being at the airport, being at a concert, like,
It's a huge benefit as a tall woman. Not, again, I'm 5'8". I'm not like tall, but I am on average pretty tall for a woman. I would never trade that for anything. I love being tall. It gives me a leg up, in like literal leg up in so many situations. And then there were a lot of short guys who were commenting as well, who I think didn't actually watch the clip fully.
because it just came
And
off so defensive from the
they
start.
were so defensive. And they were saying, they're like, you are so shallow. Like, we have it so tough. You know, a guy who, if you're dating a short guy, he knows that you're just settling for him, and it just means that you're ugly and you're too old. It was
That was
wild.
what I know, and that was also what I found to be so, like, you're calling us shallow? Like, so many men were calling us mid, ugly,
Mhm.
like, couldn't have, like, couldn't get anybody anyway, so why would we be so shallow? Like, why don't we just all acknowledge we're having a shallow conversation? It doesn't mean one conversation doesn't define all elements of a person. Like, we're talking about something a little bit more superficial, but like, fine. And if you don't think that, like, if you're going to sit in your basement on your keyboard telling us that we're too ugly for you to date, like,
Great.
you're, come on. Like, you're doing the exact same thing. It was unbelievable and frankly aggressive.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about a lot of people on the internet, especially men. There's this incel culture
Yeah.
where they feel like they can't get women, so the only way that they're going to be able to feel better about themselves is to try and insult women. So, that was really interesting. And also, it was a minute clip. I kept directing people, watch the full episode.
Yeah.
Watch multiple episodes, see what we're talking about. We're not saying that this is the most serious, like, in-depth data-driven podcast. We are two best friends who are talking about dating and sex and relationships in our lives. Why do we have to be so serious? And I don't know. It was
Oh, and
it
as
was
if
very
men aren't
interesting.
having those same shallow conversations. They just don't want to feel like women are having them too. And yet at the same time, that's everyone who's listening here, are the people who want to know what women are really saying. So, like, let's all just hold hands and listen. And by the way, I will say there were some women who dropped into the comments and backed up the data and said they exclusively date shorter guys because they think that they're better dancers and better in bed, which I thought was interesting.
So interesting. And where this story came from was the fact that as a tall woman, I previously only dated tall men, and a short king pursued me and I started dating him, and I liked it. And it's like, and I'm attracted to him, and I'm
Yeah.
learning more about myself. And just because you realize that maybe some of your standards in dating are more flexible, it doesn't mean that you are shallow or that you're settling. It just
Yeah.
means that you are learning more about yourself and what you want and what you're attracted to. And now I am open to dating other guys who are my height or even a little bit shorter. It,
Yeah.
it's a positive. So I don't know why these people are complaining, but it's
I
also
also
still like,
sorry.
it's we can handle it. So if you guys wanna like talk shit, do it. We can handle it. We are strong women.
I also thought that something that was really nice that somebody brought up, which is I think doubling down on your point now, is it also takes a confident woman who's tall to date somebody who's shorter. It's not it's a total reciprocated confidence thing that has to happen in a relationship. So I think acknowledging that on both ends is also like, deep, despite the fact that sometimes people think that this is shallow.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I agree with you. I think it's very easy to date a taller man just because that's just the way that we are programmed by society to think that that's what we should be looking for. But I am happy to wear heels and be taller than the person that I'm dating. It is all good, but no, that was something that was really interesting for us to see. So our
Mhm.
segment where we talk about the different reels that we send each other throughout the week, and there are many, and we want to include all of our listeners, all of our residents into our group chat. So Dee, why don't you tell us the reel that we're discussing this week in the group chat?
So it was like a very data kind of driven Instagram profile talking about how you should date like a reporter on your first, at least on your first date, instead of just seeing if like this is somebody that you want to have sex with and like shoot your shot and just like superficially evaluating. Something that hit with this for me, well, so basically it was like ask a lot of questions, like curious and investigative in many ways, because you're going to get more information. And this is frankly, a first date is a data retrieval exercise, and it'll help you decide more authentically and if this is somebody you want to see again or like see naked and be with and create more intimacy. Something that my friend's mom used to always say about dating is the second date is really the first date. The first date is just like the collecting of information and making sure they're worth your time to even go see a second time. So I think they're both sort of saying the same thing, but this reel had a little bit more of like a reporter's mind to it. Um
Well, and I think it's a lot of people get very nervous and intimidated before a first date because they
mhm,
worry about being judged. Are they going to like me? Whereas the focus of a first date should be, do I like them? Am I
mhm.
attracted to them? Is
It's
this
kind of
someone you
like
would want to spend more time with?
sorry, I'm just thinking it's sort of actually like an interview, like a job interview. Like the
It
thing
is
that you
literally a
always
job interview.
like you get at you're always reminded before you go on a job interview, like don't just see if they want to hire you, see if you want to work with them.
And then it takes so much pressure off of you, allows you to be present and to just be curious, and not only ask them questions, see if they're asking you questions,
Mhm.
and also see how they make you feel. Is this someone who makes you feel like expansive, or do they make you feel like they're trying to make you feel smaller? You know, it's all about really being as curious and observant as possible. And this reel was also talking about how so few men today are shooting their shot in person because they are so worried about being rejected. And I think again, this has so much to do with the fact that we live in this culture of social media and dating apps where it is really easy to connect with people behind a screen, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have those social skills in person. And I have to say, for our gentlemen listeners, women want to be approached in person.
Yeah.
We
And it
do,
goes and nobody wants to be on apps. There's not a
because
single
they're
person, I'm
miserable.
sorry. And maybe we can like put this out as a call like to any of our listeners, like do you really want to be on a dating app? Is that where you really think that you're going to find somebody? These dating apps are designed to be like slot machines. They're supposed to keep you on the app. It's like any
They
business.
They're literally designed using variable reinforcement mechanism, which is the same exact way that slot machines are designed to keep you, you know, hitting the lever and pushing the button because you
Mhm.
think, okay, the next time I am going to get that great match, but you just never know. And yes, sometimes you will connect with people, and absolutely there are exceptions to the rule. I know plenty of people who have found their partner on a dating app, but more often than not, you are wasting your time. You're surrounded by people who are looking for something more casual, who are more avoidant, who are just like, oh, if it doesn't work out, there's a million other matches, so I don't have to really invest much into it. Get off the apps and just be present in person. If you are out there and you find someone who you're attracted to, go up to them.
And I honestly think that you would probably do better. And I'm thinking about my ex and my daughter's dad. He came up to me at a bar when I was on a date with somebody else. And he asked me for my phone number. And
Love that.
I know, it was so great. And so now looking back, it's like he's also just like kind of like a little socially deaf sometimes. And so he didn't even notice that I was on a date. But it came off at the time as confidence. And if I'd seen him on an app, I probably wouldn't have gone on a date with him. But because he came up to me with what I perceived at the time as confidence, we went on a date that weekend. And like you actually probably have a better shot shooting your shot than you in person than you would on an app.
In
Just
terms
by
of
the very
numbers,
act.
absolutely.
Yeah. Just by the very act of actually like going up to somebody, anyone can appreciate that, I
Women
think.
know how intimidating it is for a man to
Yeah.
do that. Now, there are guys who will go up to tons of women and they are just it's a numbers game for them, and we can sniff that out really easily. But if you are actually intentional and you see someone, and this is not something where you're going up to 10 other women that night and you're like, okay, I'm really attracted to her, I just want to start a conversation with her and let her know that, like, I'm interested. Women love that. We want to be courted, and we will validate you if you
Mhm.
are doing it in a way that is respectful and not sleazy, which is really, it's not that difficult. And so I think, Diana, what do you think are some good openers for guys to say when they're walking up to a woman and trying to start a conversation with her?
Um well, if it's at a bar or restaurant or a situation like that, I think something very easy is like, "Hey, what are you drinking? Can I buy you a drink?" I think that's like a very casual, easy opener. Like cocktails are running $25 a, a shot these days. So like I would love to have a man buy me a drink,
Right.
but and not in a like super it's just like a nice gesture. And it is also showing, I think actually like I'm going to sit here and have this drink with you and I'm committing to time with you. And if the woman says like, no, thanks, like it's okay. Like, I think that you want to kind of have a follow up question. Be like, okay, well, if you don't want to drink, like, can I ask you like what brought you out here tonight? Like, are you here with friends? Like, what's the occasion or something? And just take it a little bit further. I think if you're going to go up to somebody out in any other situation, just like little things, especially because I'm a single mom. Like if I'm with my kid or something, or if you offer to help me, like, hey, can I help you put your bags in your car? Can I help you like lift that thing up? Or
That
like,
is That
can I
is that
help
is
you?
such a that is like such a great point. If you're at baggage claim and you're getting
Yes.
off the plane and there's a beautiful woman next to you, you say, "Hey, can I help you with your bag?" Anything like
Yes.
that would be such a turn on. But it can also just be as simple as, "Hey, what's up? How are
Yeah,
you?" Or, "Hey,
totally.
what's your name?" But then
Yeah.
you can do, there's so many things if you want to be clever. Like, you can ask them like a ridiculous question. Like, go up to a woman and be like, "Hey, do you think like a hamburger is a sandwich?" Or something like Just like or
Did
like
you?
or like, so what don't you do? Or instead of like, what do you do for a living? Or hey,
Yeah.
do you want to see a picture of my dog? Just like random
Yeah.
things like that that will start a conversation that will surprise a woman. Hey, like
Yeah.
what's your death row meal? Just
Yeah.
like random silly questions that can start a conversation.
Yeah.
But or you can be like, "Hey, do you know where the bathroom is?" Just
Yeah.
very easy openers. If you're waiting in line, "Hey, what are you ordering?"
Yeah. Or like,
Anything.
have you been here before? What's your
It's
favorite thing to order off the menu?
it's so easy. I
Yeah.
would steer clear of "You look beautiful," because
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah. Or like anything about
automatically
looks or body or your
right,
outfit or
right,
anything like
yeah.
that.
Unless they have like a badass pair of shoes or a purse, or there's like something that's really unique about what they're wearing and you can
Yeah.
deliver it in a way that is non-sexual, then definitely do that. But for the most part, steer clear of anything related to looks. And it's okay if a woman rejects you. Don't take it personally. She could have a boyfriend. She could be
Hmm.
dealing with a lot of stuff, or she could just not be that into you. You're not into everyone. It's fine.
Or she could be celibate at the moment, like we are.
Or she could be celibate at the moment, like both of us. Exactly. So,
I think that's a
well,
good cue to go into our dirty laundry.
you think
And
so?
what's yeah, because we were going to talk about my
Are you going to
favorite
make your
sounds.
obligatory comment?
I bite my tongue now.
Diana thinks it sounds like having sex on the washing machine. I just think it sounds like a washing machine, but it's all good.
Yeah, maybe it's I don't know. Well, because then what I was going to talk about is that I've been celibate since March and I haven't even masturbated at all.
Like
But
since March, you
actually,
haven't masturbated.
I did this morning.
Wow. Oh my god.
I
What
know.
what was it, just thinking about being celibate and having our recording sesh today, or what was it?
I was reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath.
Okay.
It's just something about it.
What was it? What made you be like, I want to
Like,
come?
because I'm at the part in the book where she's in the mental institution,
Okay.
which is like, where she's debating if it's like a prison of her own making. And I think I was like, am I in a prison of my own making? Can I break out of this prison?
So,
And so I was like, let
did
me
you break
try.
out?
Oh, I broke out. And it
Congratulations.
thanks. It felt really good. And
Maybe that's why you're so happy and smiley and shining today.
I think so.
You're in the afterglow.
Just me, Sylvia Plath, and my right hand.
Oh my god. Like, and the mental institution. Don't forget about that.
I know, in the So yeah. Yeah, that was new breakthrough today.
Oh my god. Well, okay, so why congrats again. Like, big
Thank
day.
you.
Big,
Thanks.
big day for
I'm
you.
like
But
smiling
why
from ear to ear.
you are? I'm like, "Oh, okay, that makes so much sense." So why do you think, while you've been celibate, it has been so important for you to not masturbate? Obviously up until this morning.
Well, I don't think it was like an importance thing. I think it was, and we've talked about this a lot in our friendship, and we're now bringing it to the mic, I guess. But I'm a very on off person. And there's a lot of alcoholism in my family and like addiction stuff. I don't particularly feel like I have the alcoholism gene. It's very
Right.
genetic, and I don't feel like I have it. But what I do think I have is like I can turn things on, and when they're on, I'm on. And when I am off, I am like dead, no life. And so I think in deciding to be celibate, I just turned everything off.
Okay. So no shades of gray, really.
There's no. I am no shades
Very
of gray.
black and white.
Yeah. And I think it's a struggle for me that I'm working on now, and what I will do, like, while, I think today was actually a very good first step, is like not
Yes.
being so all or nothing and on and off, but actually finding a balance. And there's nothing like some Sylvia Plath in the mental institution to really break through, the
What a
bell
turn
jar.
on. What
I
a
know.
turn on. Well, I think that is definitely something to celebrate, both in the fact that you had your first orgasm in many months, but also the fact that you are willing to explore some of the shades of gray. Do you worry that now you're going to want to stop your celibacy, or now you're going to want to masturbate all the time? Like what is your mindset? Or you feel like, okay, I can still do this, or was it a one and done? Like what do you think?
I think it might be a one and done for a little bit. Maybe also, I
Okay.
think I'm going to make more of an effort to take the time to do that. I had like a very big self-care morning, which
Love.
like, and actually I think reading in bed on in the morning is something that encourages that for me, because it's just like really alone personal time,
Mhm.
and I let my, like, no phone, and so I think that's kind of a good place to reintroduce some of that.
That makes a lot of
So,
sense. That makes a lot of
yeah.
sense. I'm someone
Ooh,
who is, oops, I'm
I
someone
had
who
it
is,
on, sorry, I had it on do not disturb, but Joseph is on my favorites list, so it breaks through the
so it
favorites.
breaks through. Well, Joseph is one of our loyal listeners as well. So
Yeah,
shout
same.
out to Joseph. But I'm different in the way that I am definitely comfortable in the shades of gray. And I think I used to be a lot more of a black and white thinker, but as I have evolved, I think I've been able to trust myself a lot more in terms of being able to live in the gray, because I'm
You're
dating
one of the
someone.
Well, I was gonna say you're one of the most balanced people I know. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that. I have a Libra moon, so that might be it. Um, but I'm dating someone and like him, and I'm still devoted to being celibate. And there are plenty of opportunities for me to not be, but
Mhm.
I know that my heart, my soul, my mind, my body is telling me that I still need to respect that.
Yeah.
And I think it's also really helpful for me as someone who, when I've dated in the past, I've slept with people, earlier on, that this is great training for me, because I think you can really get to know someone more the
Yeah.
longer that you do wait to have sex. And it's also, um, I just feel like I feel really good about myself. I feel really confident in that decision. Not only that I'm doing it for me, that I decided I wanted to be celibate and I'm sticking to that, but also that I I can do that, and that
Yeah.
it's really not that difficult to uphold those boundaries, which to me is a form of loving myself, which again, masturbation is a form of self-love too. So I think we all
Totally.
just need to like love ourselves whatever way that works for you. But this is a big deal. This is a big day for you, D. Congrats.
Thanks, babe.
Amazing. Should we move into our tea time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tea time.
I've been I've been drinking some of my tea slash my Pellegrino lemon water.
Ooh, I'm drinking
Mm.
my water that doesn't have anything special in it.
So we touched on this a little bit in the last episode, and we had some feedback from listeners that they wanted to hear more about it, which was, and we've wanted to talk about it more too, but
Mhm.
stopping smoking weed.
Both
And
of us,
huh?
both of us have gone through this
But yeah,
journey. We were doing it together.
and we became friends over weed.
We did.
Um,
It was a huge part of my identity. It was a big part of your identity.
yeah.
And I gave it up in February, and then you followed shortly after. I have
Mhm.
not touched it, whether it's smoking, vaping, eating, since then. You've had like one or two experiences with it,
Mhm.
but this is really foundational for us that we have both decided to give this up.
Well, and for me, it was actually a breakthrough therapy appointment because, and I am not proud of this, which is why I talked about it in therapy and like with my tail between my legs. So don't come after me in the comments about my parenting. But it was like a rainy day, a rainy weekend in April that I had my daughter, and we were just spending the entire weekend inside and not going anywhere, and like watching movies and baking and playing games and reading. And I ended up smoking like 6 joints by myself. Like, usually when she was going, like, when she was already asleep, but I would smoke like two back to back or like, and by Monday morning, when I had therapy, my brain felt like a dried raisin. And I had never really talked about my weed use with my therapist. Like, she knew. And she also specializes in addiction and stuff too. So,
Mm.
but I told her, it's like, I'm not really proud of this, but, and she said, well, let me ask you something. Do you need to be stoned to hang out with your daughter? I was like, no, of course not. She's like, so why don't we start there? And so that was very easy for me to be like, no, I don't need to be stoned with her. So I just didn't then. And then I realized how easily I was smoking because of vape pens. And so then
It's
I was like,
so convenient. It's so under the radar. I
and
mean,
no
I was
one
getting the vape
knows.
pen so much too.
Yeah, like too much. And then, so then I was like, well, I don't want to be smoking that either. So it won't be vape pens. So then it just became about like smoking joints. And then very quickly, it was like, I don't even need to use these. And then I just ended up going through like real withdrawals, like sweating become in my sleep. I thought that I was like having perimenopause. I thought I was like going through menopause. Like
But it
real,
was
like
just weed withdrawals.
it was
Interesting.
weed withdrawals
Okay.
and like drenched in sweat.
Oh,
And I haven't sweat since. And
wow.
and then I was becoming really irritable again. And that was the first like couple weeks. And then it went away. And I started dreaming so much more. And it just felt so much like I used to think that I needed it to do things like the chores around the house. And now I realize I don't. I actually get more chores done when I'm not stoned, which was really surprising.
Wow. That is that is like a huge breakthrough, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
What was it for you?
so for me it was a lot about eating. I have a pretty small appetite and I would just love to only like have a great meal when I was high. Or I would love to only watch a TV show or a movie when I was high. And just realizing that I was putting these I was telling these stories to myself about what I needed and I had these boundaries
And like
and
parameters.
yeah, and these just like these are the guidelines that I need in order to live.
Hmm.
And now I just feel like I don't miss it at all.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm so grateful that I had that relationship with it, but at this moment in my life, I don't think I really need it. So, and like I don't judge anyone for using cannabis.
No.
I would be very open to dating someone who uses cannabis. Like it's just it's fine. But for me, I just realized that at this moment in my life, I just don't think I really like need it and it doesn't benefit me in the way that it did in the past.
I honestly think that I was starting to be afraid of my own brain and what I could accomplish when like intimidated by my own output because like I'm a very like high performing like I just can get a lot done in a day. But
Right.
I'm also like a very like I can have a huge amount of output. And I think I was like not dumbing myself down, but I was like scared to meet myself in my own moment and like
Interesting.
make kind of excuses for myself in the fear of my own success.
I can definitely connect with that, and I think a lot of it for me was, yeah, just being hesitant to be alone with my thoughts and
Mhm.
hesitant to process some old emotions that were not processed, or dealing with some old limiting beliefs that I didn't want to deal with. And
Mhm.
then once I let go of cannabis, I was able to really look at myself in the mirror and do the shadow work that I needed to do, that I had been putting off. And I feel like I sleep better, because I always used to say, no, I need it to sleep. And I think
Oh,
I
I sleep so much
definitely,
better now.
yeah, I think I sleep better. It's just, and especially because I was doing a lot of vaping. Vaping is so bad for you. And so it feels really good to just not have that in my life at all. But yeah, that was, I think that's a lot to deal with, especially with what you talked to your therapist about. And I'm so proud of you for being honest. And I feel like
Thank you.
I think it was just like a really important step to grow and evolve and now be able to do even more. Like, I don't know if we would have been able to start this podcast if we were both smoking as much weed as we used to.
No. I wouldn't honestly like I wouldn't have been able to start this podcast, direct Will Ferrell for 5 days like if I were smoking weed and dating men.
Yes,
Like I
agreed.
just and that was part of this whole experiment is like when I decided that I was going to be celibate and then the weed stuff came pretty soon after. It's like what would happen if I spent 6 months. Not like I was putting a timeline on it, but I was like, I'd like to try this for at least 6 months, like see if I can do this, where I am just putting all of my energy into myself and recirculating that energy creatively, like not putting energy into anyone else or dulling my energy in any other way and see what would happen. And I have like accomplished some of the my biggest career moments to date. I finally started a podcast with you, which I've wanted to do for so long. I feel like the healthiest I've ever been. Like it's and now when I smoke the couple times I smoked once alone and then once with friends. And each time I was like, this is like slowing me down. I don't want to be slowed down anymore.
Right, right. Okay. So on our next episode, we interview a man who is 5'4" and only dates women who are over 5'10". So that should be a really interesting conversation.
And hopefully lots of comments will come in and we'll just close the loop on that whole conversation.
Agreed. Agreed. Or our audience will tell us that they want to keep talking about it. So again, audience, you tell us. We are here to serve you.
Okay, now let's sage the proverbial room together.
Clear out some of our old energy.
Yeah.
And I've got my sage spray. And yes, remember everyone, there is nothing better than dating or being a witchy woman, because we help everyone around us manifest, and we're the
So
biggest
true.
baddies around.
That's the truth. You want to date, you want to be with a witchy woman can help in so many different ways. And if you're not comfortable with it, then you should start asking yourself some questions.
What are you judging? What are you judging? What's wrong
Yeah,
with being with a witchy woman? Also, witchy women will see you. They really will. They
that's what the
will
problem
observe.
is.
They know, and that can be a little bit intimidating, to have someone sometimes see you and know you more than you know yourself. But highly
And so
recommend.
And just to double down, I think what we really want to clear out are some of the negative comments that we received this week and on some, some judgments from people of thinking that we were shallow while their comments were reflecting that shallowness right back. And we just want you to know that you. Mhm.
And also realizing that one little clip of us is not representative of our entire personality or the
No.
entire show, an episode, what our show is all about. So, we're clearing out the judgments, we're clearing out the negativity,
And we
and
still welcome you back no matter what.
exactly, because we are all learning and growing, and one thing that is very true that Shira Seven Sprinkle Sprinkle Lady says is that men that can't impress women try to humble them. Just know that so if your go-to is to talk down to women or try to make them feel less than, just try and think about where that's coming from. But we would love your constructive criticism and your feedback. But just know that your insults are not affecting us. I actually get a lot of pleasure out of insulting men right back. So just putting that out there as well.
If you couldn't tell from the comments, Molly's taking the lead on the comment response.
They are. I do. I have a little bit of fun like that, and like we were talking in the last episode, I'm exploring that findom persona, so
Yeah.
emasculating and insulting men. So I'm just practicing that. Again, we're also looking for men who want to pay us for that.
We love you.
We love you. On that note, we will
Well, we'll
see
see
you
you
in the
in the
mailroom.
mailroom. Bye,
Bye,
Malka.
everyone. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.